Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. And we begin with new reporting breaking at this hour, revealing a war brewing inside the West Wing. The brand new communications director and a phone call he reportedly made to a writer at the New Yorker. Their conversation shedding new light tonight on what we already knew. There is major tension between these two men, that new communications chief and the chief of staff. And tonight it's turned very ugly. Just moments ago, that communications director, Anthony Scaramucci, just tweeting, "Sometimes I use colorful language." ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
The death stare, a portrait of a White House staff at war with itself. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus facing off against new communications director Anthony Scaramucci in the Oval Office. Their relationship fraught from the start. Priebus opposed Scaramucci's appointment. Still, on day one, Scaramucci called him a dear and personal friend.
We are a little bit like brothers, where we rough each other up once in a while, which is totally normal for brothers.
But today, that brotherly love took a dark turn.
Some brothers are like Cain and Abel. Other brothers can fight with each other and get along. I don't know if this is repairable or not. That will be up to the president.
Now, in an explosive interview with The New Yorker, Scaramucci calls Priebus a, quote, bleeping paranoid schizophrenic. He also levels a profane attack on White House chief strategist Steve Bannon and threatens to fire essentially the entire White House communications staff over leaks, saying they'll all be fired by me. I fired one guy the other day. I have 3 to 4 people I'll fire tomorrow. He even hints he has more information on White House aides, telling The New Yorker, I nailed these guys. I've got digital fingerprints on everything they've done through the FBI and the bleeping Department of Justice. They're gonna get prosecuted. Overnight, Scaramucci seemed to suggest Priebus himself was the one doing the leaking, tweeting, in light of the leak of my financial disclosure info, which is a felony, I will be contacting FBI and the Justice Department. And then he tagged Priebus's Twitter handle. He soon deleted the tweet, insisting he wasn't blaming the chief of staff, but when 2 reporters disputed that, Scaramucci issued a challenge on live television.
They're all making the assumption that it's him because journalists know who the leakers are. So if Reince wants to explain that he's not a leaker, let him do that.
The out-in-the-public sniping has alarmed some of the president's closest advisors.
I think Scaramucci's full of himself, totally unhelpful to have somebody going around starting family fights in public. And if he's going to be that divisive, I'm not sure he's going to be very useful to the president.
But the new White House press secretary said the president likes to see his top aides spar with each other.
I think the president, as always, enjoys healthy competition and conversation, and he sees that as such.
Does the president have confidence in his chief of staff?
If the president doesn't, then he'll make that decision. We all serve at the pleasure of the president, and if he gets to a place where that isn't the case, he'll let you know.
As for Priebus, he's been silent. Nobody in the White House defending him. He's the second top administration official left twisting in the wind by the president. The other one, of course, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who broke his silence today on the president's continued attacks.
You've seen the president's criticism of you. Do you think it's fair?
Well, it's kind of hurtful, but the President of the United States is a strong leader, and he wants all of us to do our jobs, and that's what I intend to do.
So let's get to John Karl at the White House tonight. And John, the White House press secretary wouldn't say whether the president has confidence in his chief of staff, but you're learning from your sources tonight that the president's closest advisors are now already discussing replacements?
They are already talking about who would replace Priebus, and I can tell you some of the names near the top of that list. 2 of them are generals. General John Kelly, now the Homeland Security Secretary. General Keith Kellogg, now the Chief of Staff to the National Security Council. And also Mick Mulvaney. But listen to this one. Kellyanne Conway, I am told, is under consideration as a possible next Chief of Staff.
Jonathan Karl leading us off tonight.